The average rent in the GTA now sits at over $2,800 a month. That's a 31% increase in the last 2 years. If you're sitting there wondering why have rents gone up so much and what can possibly be done to bring the rents down, then you've come to the right video. In this video, I will cover 4 reasons why rents have been skyrocketing and what the solution to bringing rents down would be. Hello everyone, this is Sid Sur from Team Sur Real Estate. I help clients with buying, selling, leasing, investing, as well as first access to pre-construction condos. If this is your first time on this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for all things real estate. So according to Urbanation, the average rent now sits at $2,803 in the GTA. Over the past 2 years, this represents a 31.7% increase in rents. So now let's look at 4 reasons why this is happening. Reason number 1 is quite simple, and that is the rise in interest rates. In 2022, the Bank of Canada decided that they needed to raise the key interest rates in order to bring inflation down. Inflation was hovering at its peak at over 8%. What this meant really is it brought a lot of people who would have otherwise purchased property to then go out into the rental market. So the rental market started seeing more demand coming through the potential buyers. So because of that, whatever low supply there now was, it put more pressure on the supply issue. Rental demand just went up overnight. It's not so much that people weren't able to afford homes, especially in the beginning of 2022 when the bank first started raising rates. It was more so the uncertainty surrounding the interest rates, and the news surrounding interest rate is what brought a lot of consumer confidence down. And that's what pushed a lot of buyers to now go and sit in the sidelines and then reassess and then just watch closely to see how things turn out. And in the interim, they wanted to just rent. The other reason for the rents to go up was, again, the continued shortage of supply. Because rents were increasing at such a rapid pace month over month and year over year, people who had been renting did not want to move. They simply wanted to stay put, because if somebody was paying $1,900 for a one-bedroom condo, they would now have to spend $2,300 or $2,400. This is going back to 2022. So renters who already had a place, who were probably even getting somewhat of a big concession during COVID, where we saw a lot of landlords cut prices by a few $100s, there was no reason for these tenants who are paying low rent to move and pay hundreds of dollars more. And because of that reason, we saw not much new inventory come back out into the rental market, therefore putting more pressure on rental prices and the supply issue. Now, reason number 3 is because interest rates were increasing so rapidly and aggressively by the Bank of Canada, this really put a lot of pressure on the investors' pockets. Mortgage payments were going up tremendously, especially for investors and landlords who were on a variable rate. They saw their monthly mortgage payments increase by hundreds of dollars. So as soon as they had any kind of turnover where the tenant had now left the condo for whatever reason, the landlord saw an opportunity to then increase the price to cover essentially their monthly mortgage payments. So if a landlord's monthly mortgage payment went from $1,900 to $2,400, then this is what they ended up listing the condo at. And because there was an already low supply of rental stock out there, and you had so much demand for renters, people who were bidding on these rental units decided to just pay the $2,400. And what that then in turn does is it sets a new comparable in that building and in that market for the rents. So now when the next person in that same building or neighborhood vacates their rental unit where they were paying $1,900, the landlord now sees the previous unit rented at $2,400. So now they list their condo rental unit at $2,400. And then again, tenants continue to pay the $2,400. In many cases, for a lot of these tenants that were paying $2,400, $2,500 last year for rent in 2022, they saw paying $2,400 to $2,500 for a one bedroom as a better alternative than paying over $3,500 for a condo for purchase. And the last reason why we saw rents skyrocketing the way they did over the last 2 years is immigration. Last year in 2022, Canada brought in over 1 million new residents into the country. Now, this would include immigrants, foreign workers, international students, as well as refugees. And of course, all of these people are going to need a place to stay. And of course, they go right off the gate into the rental market. And with the already short supply and the reasons I listed above, this put more pressure on the rental stock. Now, with all these four factors contributing so heavily into rents going up year over year, you might be thinking, well, what is the solution for rents to either come down or just stabilize and not keep skyrocketing at this pace? The answer is very simple, and that's just basic supply and demand. We need more supply than there is demand. According to the Building Industry and Land Development Association, the overall rental deficit of GTA rental supply will actually increase to 177,000 units. And in order to bring that deficit down, we need to build more purpose-built rentals. The reason why we don't have a lot of purpose-built rental construction happening is because it's more expensive for builders to construct purpose-built rentals. It costs them more upfront, and it also takes a lot longer to see any kind of return on investment and profit from purpose-built rentals. The government really needs to incentivize builders to start building purpose-built rentals by approving and making the approval process a lot faster, as well as cut back on a lot of the development fees that they charge builders and developers to actually start construction. Purpose-built rental is defined as housing that's specifically designed for long-term rental. The majority of purpose-built rentals that was built in Ontario dates back to the 40s and 60s. But in the last couple of decades, we really haven't seen a lot of purpose-built rentals go under construction or start building. So guys, I hope you found this video somewhat helpful in providing reasons as to why rents have been skyrocketing over the last 2 years. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments what you think is the solution for rents to actually either go down or just stabilize. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.